Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the B2B Outbound Marketing and Sales Automation. My name is Dancho and I've said this so many times, but for today, I actually have a special guest. And this guest is actually on the podcast, but also he's going to also be on our prospecting and outreach summit. So it's like killing two birds with one stone or whatever. But I have Relja Denić, the CEO of Skylead's IO here from Serbia. So Relja, welcome to the show.
Good to find you, as they say in Serbian, though. But yeah, nice to be here. And yeah.
Well, I was actually excited to meet you because we have multiple collaborations together. And I do believe that you have a nice tool, that automation that we need to share it with our audience. But we're not jumping that fast. First, I wanted to give you the opportunity to show yourself who you are. How did you actually get to, I mean, you didn't wake up one day and say, okay, I actually am the CEO of Skylead's IO. So I was a bit curious to put some background to have a perspective.
Yeah, well, it's a funny story, as they would say. So generally, I was a very long time like in a volunteering organization called ISEC. I was there like 5 years, and I was working there on multiple positions, in vice president positions and etc., which is a great organization, I would say, for students. So if any students are listening to us, I would recommend to join that organization.
Me too, because I'm also an ISEC alumni here in Macedonia. We also had it. It's a great experience.
Yes, yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, and when I finished with my experience in ISEC, like I took a break of 2 or 3 months, like to just like think about everything what I want to do, and then started to search for a job, essentially, because I would need a job, as they say, after volunteering for 5 years. It's time to make some money. So yeah, I started searching for a job, and I applied for multiple positions, but I found about Skylead through essentially a friend. He told me about it, but I also saw a LinkedIn post about they were hiring an SDR. And that's how it essentially started. I came to an interview which lasted just like, I think it lasted 10 minutes, essentially, where they just like told me like, you're in. And I didn't even tell them about ISEC, which I'm very proud of. And I was like, let me tell you guys what I did in ISEC and etc. But yeah, the interview was very pleasant and very fast. They were like, we would like to have you on a, how do I say, probation work, essentially, of a week, just to see if we're fit. And yeah, that's how it started. Like, and when I joined, like we in Skylead, we were like in a small room that maybe it was 10 or 20, how do you say, square meters. And they opened like a door, and the salespeople were essentially in 4 square meters, 2 of us guys.
That's like a closet,
like a closet.
This is your working space.
Like a closet, essentially. And I was hyped because of that. I don't know. I was like, I like the beginnings. I like to build stuff from the beginning. I like when it's hard in the beginning. I'm crazy like that. But essentially, yeah. And that's how I started. I worked as an SDR. Essentially, moved from that place when Skylead grew. And as Skylead grew, also my responsibilities grew in Skylead. I was working first as an SDR. Then they switched me to marketing manager. After that, they promoted me to head of marketing. And in one moment, like before I became CEO, like 2 or 3 months, I was working with everyone and on everything, essentially. The only thing that I was not doing was developing, even though I studied software engineering. But yeah, that's how I moved. Like that's what happened. Like I was working on multiple things. They saw my contribution. I think they saw my contribution in the company, and they just offered me to essentially, because of my also experience, because of my love of the tool, I would say I really love the tool. And because my experience in ISEC, that I managed a lot of people and did a lot of things there, I think they saw the potential and promoted me there. And yeah, from there, I'm the CEO, and yeah, still here. So yeah, I'm managing the company. The founders are still there, the two of them, but I'm essentially just managing the whole company. They're still part of the company. They're just more on the developing side. I'm more on the business side.
Nice. And I'm curious, Relja, how much time it took you from the probation period to getting to the CEO?
So the probation lasted just a week, like it's something like that. I would say the first week was like just to see if I understand the tool and etc. And then I had like 1 month of real work, I would say, and then I was full time there. But yeah, it took around year and a half, I think, something like that. Like the company really grew. Like when I entered the company, it was 9 people, I think, and we're now 30. So it grew very fast, and the founders they did really good job before, and they were developers. They didn't have that much of a managing and business side, which I gained, as I said, through ISEC, and I worked in an agency before, so I had that experience. I worked in a done-for-you service agency, so they saw the potential. So a year and a half, I would say, something like that.
Yeah, but that's a fast growth. That means that the Skylead is growing. It means that if it grow in that short time frame, and I was curious to hear more about the Skylead. I mean, how is it currently positioned on the market? I mean, there are a lot of automation out there. So from which angle it is positioned currently?
When you say angle, like what do we offer, or?
Is it a cheap service targeting solopreneurs, entrepreneurs? Mm-hmm. Is it a expensive enterprise solution? Is it LinkedIn specialized only, or it's LinkedIn and email or other channels? Is it a Chrome extension or a desktop or just
okay?
From multiple angles, if you ask me.
Understandable, yeah. Okay, yeah, I mean, we're a cloud-based solution. We started as a LinkedIn automation, but we moved into a multi-channel approach. We added like email outreach, so we have that part. We also added email discovery and verification, and we added image and GIF personalization you can insert inside of email and LinkedIn. So the company started first as a very basic LinkedIn automation. It was always a cloud-based solution. We never did like extensions or desktop because of the ease of, at that moment, I think there were not a lot of cloud-based solutions, and we were one of the first ones, I would say. But yeah, the idea was just to have, the main idea was just to have your computer, that you don't have to have your computer turned on because of the extensions and desktop applications that came after that. But yeah, the cloud-based was always the idea, and we're still a cloud-based solution. And yeah, it started like that. And we're, as I said, a multi-channel tool. And at the same time, the most, I would say, unique part of us, what we like did was 1 year and a half. Like we added, like when we added that multi-channel approach, we didn't want to be like basic and do it like just into a straightforward sequence, I would say. We added the smart sequence, as we call them. I think also some of the competitors took that name, which is also something very, in my mind, very nice. Like we made a name for that approach. So yeah, we added those smart sequences where essentially you can have if-else conditions where our solution will make decisions based on the prospect's behavior. That's how we see it. So that's what we are right now. Of course, we're working on additional stuff and etc. But that's what we are now. What we offer is, or who our target audience is. I would say we are not enterprise. So yeah, as a cloud-based solution, yes, we are probably a lot more expensive than an extension or a desktop app. That's normal, but I would say it's not a premium, because I know a lot of tools that are like $300, $400 and etc. Ours is just $100 per seat. What I mentioned, you get everything for that price. There is no hidden costs or whatever. That's what you get. And yeah, when we target, essentially, we also have a white label option. So we generally have agencies that do done-for-you service, but we also have a regular Skylead users, which are small businesses, entrepreneurs, like 1 to 2 years old, companies starting doing cold outreach, building their success, and etc. That's most of our client base when we're talking about Skylead users. But yeah.
Nice. So that means that B2B is your target audience, because we are a done-for-you agency. So we should discuss about the white label after this.
Yeah, if you're interested. I know depends what your business model is, but yes, of course, if 90% of our white labels are done for you service, but we also have like resellers or some amalgamation that they made and that works for them. But yeah, most of the time it's done for you services.
Nice, nice. And well, you've mentioned a lot of features from database building through outreach, LinkedIn, email, and the smart sequence, which I really wanted to dig a bit deeper into. And maybe instead of talking in theory, like how it works, maybe the best way forward is if you can just share your screen and give us like behind the curtains, how actually Skyleads work, how you set up an automation, how you execute it. So actually everybody can have a look on how it works.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, just let me share the screen. Awesome. So yeah, this is Skylead. This is when you log into Skylead, you add essentially your account. That's the benefit of being a cloud-based solution is essentially you can have one dashboard where you can connect multiple LinkedIn accounts or email accounts, depending what you want to do. But you can connect multiple, like your sales team. You have a team of 10 people. You can connect all of them, and you can easily, as a sales team leader, check out what is going on with their accounts. And yeah, so that's why cloud-based is one of also benefits that we offer as a cloud-based solution. But let's check out how the dashboard and everything else functions. So we go to my account, and yeah, this is the first thing that's is here that you see, and it shows you like all of the connections you sent out, profile views, total replies. It's essentially a dashboard where it shows you the analytics of each campaign. Yeah, the reporting. So it shows you everything that you can see. So yeah, but let's first move, like I would like to show you like mostly how we build a campaign, because that's the main idea of Skylead, to automate your sequence, to automate your outreach, so you can essentially focus more on the closing part. So we go here, create a new campaign. And what is cool with Skylead, we offer 6 different types of campaigns, as we like to call them. And we integrate with different types of LinkedIn, I would say, where you can generally like create a regular LinkedIn search result. Like I can show you like something. Let's create something like sales. I'm just gonna create some basic search, nothing fancy. Just we go here, and well, let's say I'm happy with the search result I created, but of course I can narrow down the search. I can create my ICP here or whatever. Depends how you target, of course, on LinkedIn. You copy the link, you paste it here, and you can of course name the campaign. And it's again, it's up to you who you're targeting here. So you create your own search here. Yeah. And yeah, it's a regular. We also have with Sales Navigator search. It's the same principle. I don't know. I can again.
The URL.
Yeah, it's the same principle. So we just create. Just let me move this interface from Zoom. It's a URL. So we create like we create a list of leads, and we just go like who do we want to like target. So again, we generally advise our users to use Sales Navigator I'm sure you're aware, Sales Navigator offers a lot more filters, better targeting. So
different league.
Yeah, totally different league. If you're doing sales, I think Sales Navigator is the way. So yeah, I'll just create something like, let's say 1 to 10, and let's say sales again. It doesn't matter. Salesperson. So the idea is when you're happy with the search, when you're happy with when you narrow down the search, you just copy the URL and you do the same. We also integrate with Recruiter. We have, I forgot to mention, we also have recruiters on our platform. So we also have one of the white labels is a recruiter agency essentially, and they are reselling it also to other recruiters. It's very like different, I would say. But yeah, we also integrate with Recruiter because LinkedIn is also essentially very good for recruiting. A 4th type of campaign is a CSV campaign, where you can import a CSV, and I would say this is the most where you have the most how do you say, flexibility, because you choose directly which leads, because you put URLs of the profiles, you put emails that you want, and you import into Skylead. But what is also awesome with CSV or import campaign is you can use placeholders, your own placeholders. I know that some tools don't offer variables. Variables,
like,
yes.
Just name, so you can add even custom variables.
Yeah, so let's say an icebreaker that I want to write to everyone, a different icebreaker. So that's something that we do in Skylead. In our sales team does that in some of the campaigns, where we create different icebreakers for each person, where they just think it's not automated, but everything is automated. Essentially, it just changes the variable depending on the person. Like we hyper personalize there. Post engagement is also a very, very nice campaign because it depends on the sales. You need to know what to target and how to do it. But for expanding your network, just to have more connections, it's very good because people who like on LinkedIn something, like let's say they like this post, and I can target all of these people here who like this post. I just copy the link and paste it into Skylead. Again, it's a very lucrative and very great thing to do because people who like something on LinkedIn, they're probably active on LinkedIn, so they're more they will probably accept your connection more regularly than somebody that's not active on LinkedIn. So yeah, and we have leads list. That's in Sales Navigator where you like manually put your own list.
Your list.
So yeah, let's just name it test campaign or something like that. And you can select again the degree of connections you want to target from the search. We go next. And you have some additional filters here, which can help you just additionally filter out the campaign, create different search results. I would not go over this. It's not that much important, I would say. The only thing is collect contact info, which is a really great thing where you can just, I generally have this always active. Our sales team always has this active because we can scrape their LinkedIn profile for their phone number, email, Twitter, website, if it's publicly available. So we scrape that if it's possible. And yeah, we go to the main thing, which is the sequence. You can choose from templates. We have some templates inside of Skylead, or you can create from scratch your own template and create your own smart sequence and to create that approach that you want. So let's do that. And yeah, this is how it looks like. You have like actions on the right side, and you have your sequence builder. Yeah. So essentially, what you can do is like you can, let's say we want to connect with on the first step, you just connect with the lead source. This is your start. And again, you can personalize your approach with basic personalization, I would say. So something like first name. So hey, first. Oops, sorry. Yeah, okay. A little lagged out. So hey, first name. I don't know. Let's connect it something very, very basic, but
true.
Yeah, but you understand. Like you can use. I don't know why it's a little bit lagging here. But yeah, you can use like variables, first name, last name, current company, and etc. So we have some additional variables that you can use. And as I said, through CSV campaign, you can import your own variables that you can write out. So I don't know how many people know, but there are also AI tools that can create first liners for you, like Lina AI, Smart Writer, and etc.
We did actually interview too, Relja, AI for introduction automation, and we already have recordings on that as well.
Oh, okay, great. Then you can combine those tools with us. Essentially, those are awesome tools. Yeah, they of course have sometimes errors, which is normal. But 99% of the time they're very correct. You just need to manually check it and import, and it provides great results. So yeah, we have that. What we also have is like we can select let me just move again the Zoom interface. You can also put like the time frame when you want to send the connection. So let's say after 2 days, I want to send this connection. Sorry?
This is setting up delays between
delays. Yeah. And again, what we can, let's do, this is the moment what we're waiting for. So I showed you actions. But what I now can do, what we can do for Skylead, and this is the main thing of the smart sequences, is I can put those conditions. So, and I can essentially, this is the pain point we wanted to solve here, because what happens most of the time, somebody doesn't accept your connection, but you maybe have their email, or maybe you don't have their email, then you want to do something else. So this is a moment, what we wanted to do is like insert like a condition, and just split the sequence depending on the behavior and actions the lead takes from here. So essentially, let me switch just to light mode. So essentially, you have a condition here. So I'm going to check, let's say after 3 days, I want to check if I'm connected with the lead. And if I'm not connected, I'm going to maybe, let's say, try to find and verify their business email. What also Skylead offers, we can like try to find and verify the business email of a person. We gather the data from LinkedIn and just try to find it for you. So let's say after 1 day and 1 hour. After that, well, on the positive side, I can tell something like I want to send a message. Yeah. So that's how it works. That's the main idea. So you can only imagine, like, I can enter like a condition after this, like if they maybe have a verified email, like we have that condition here. So if I put that condition here, like I can again create another condition. So I'm splitting the sequence even more. And when we first launched like this smart sequences, and I first created my first sequence, it had like, I think 70 steps inside of it. I went nuts. I mean, if it works for you guys, you know, you can do it. I mean, we generally look from like not to overcomplicate, but we have some clients that have very massive sequences that make sense for their business model, which is totally fine. But yeah, we generally like use conditions like to just split the leads in different sequences. And yeah, so one lead may accept your connection and then you move to LinkedIn. The other maybe doesn't accept, you find their email and you try to write them an email.
Yeah,
so,
and really, the majority of the elements are within the domain of LinkedIn and email, right?
Yes, so I forgot to mention, so actions that we offer is view profile, invite to connect, message, email message. We offer email messages, free and paid emails. So essentially, I don't know if users know, so let's just tell them that what LinkedIn offers is to some users, you can send them a free email. Sometimes it offers that to somebody if you're sending an email, but you also have credits for paid email. With us, you have both, so you can activate to send also paid emails if you wish. So essentially, you can do that also. We have follow on LinkedIn, another way, maybe a touch point that you want to have. Email message, that's an email, and find a verified business email via your source. If you upload via your CSV file the data, we can verify it, or we can verify it via LinkedIn. If you have their LinkedIn profile, we just enter through their LinkedIn and verify the business email. We also have condition. Custom condition is essentially a motherboard of everything. You can create you can combine multiple conditions into a custom conditions, and it's something for advanced users, I would say. But when you master that, you essentially can cut out a lot of steps and create an even better sequence and better understanding. But we also have conditions like if connected, if email is open, if has imported email by your source, so that's via CSV file or API, if has verified email by the platform, if free email, so this checks the profile, if it has a free email. So essentially, another step that I can enter here is maybe like a view profile. Like I'm not now entering any data just to be fast on this.
Yes.
But
you can configure each of these elements with the properties.
Yeah, and I can just check like if they have a free email, and essentially I managed to create a sequence where I'm targeting on multiple channels or message types. Like I'm trying first to connect on LinkedIn, then try to send them a message, email message, and then if I have nothing else, I try to send them an email, which is something that we generally do. Like we create something similar to this sequence, and we like saw a lot of success on emails. So when we use it like this, so that's the main idea. That's how it works. Something that I also forgot to show you is the add image type, where you can personalize images and enter. I maybe also have some kind of a template here that I can show you. So essentially, this is one type of the image we had from before, and as you see, like I took a picture, and it takes my profile picture from LinkedIn, profile picture of the lead, and I can put like text with variables if I wish, and essentially I'm automating again images in a mass scale, so it looks even more personalized. So again, me personally, I use them when I connect with people, and they respond positively. So that's how essentially it works from the smart sequence perspective. Yeah, so that's from this part. I don't know if everything is clear. If you think maybe some questions we would go through here or.
No, but this was actually really nice, Relja, showing up how instead of just, sending invitation, then message 1, then wait 2 days, then message 2, then 2 days, then message 3, you're actually having alternatives, like try to connect. If you fail, try the email route. Or if you connect and if you send 1 or 2 messages and you don't get nothing, you can mix, then send an email, then send a LinkedIn message. And that's how you can evolve it into a more sophisticated approach. And of course, the more sophisticated, the better result it's going to yield.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, the main idea was just to combine and provide everything inside of one tool, because you can do all of this with Zapier and programming, but it would cost you a lot and you need a lot of knowledge. That was the idea where we wanted to combine multiple channels. We want to add more, of course, but for now we have these two, like email and LinkedIn. But that's the idea, because this is something that a lot of sales specialists do essentially, but ones that have good knowledge of Zapier, like agencies that have the best results, like that we spoke before. They told us about this, like how they were using Zapier and different codes and connecting multiple tools. That's the idea, just to make it easier for the user to have everything under one tool and just manage it under one tool.
And Relja, once you launch the campaign with this, I mean, I don't want you to start the campaign. Where are then the answers? You have the inbox here within the tool. Probably.
Yes, we have inbox here. So essentially, we have.
Yeah, because you explained the planning stage on how to find the filters, how to set it up, how to do the smart sequencing, and then of course you're gonna press the start button.
Yes.
Then from there, people will start hopefully responding to your campaign, which is the main goal.
Yes. Yeah, you see the campaign. If we started the campaign, you would see on the dashboard that I show in the beginning. But what I forgot to mention is, yes, when you start the campaign and how sequences work, I mean, it's very same. It's 99% of the automations of all other sales automations. The sequence is going until the person answers to you or the campaign ends for that person. So, but what we also, as you said, for the inbox, what we also thought about is LinkedIn's inbox is when we started, LinkedIn's inbox is very, I would say, confusing. So we just wanted to combine everything under Skylead. So you have like LinkedIn and emails are shown here. You have everything under one inbox, so you can communicate easier and just see who you're responding to. But you have like the inbox here, and you have the profile of the person, their like title, the name of the company, the name of the campaign. This is the publicly available data of this guy here.
Yeah.
But we offer like that. If it's publicly available, you can leave notes. It's a small CRM. I would not call it a CRM because it's not a CRM, but it's a very simple version of a CRM because you can.
It's a tool to help you, actually. It's a tool to better manage the leads as you start.
Yeah, because on LinkedIn, as I said, email's inbox is okay, but LinkedIn's inbox is not very okay, I would say. And what we also offer is, okay, you can mark unread or have conversations, but you can create filters. So I can have different filters, not filters, sorry, labels. Different labels, and just label the person like what you need to do with them. So that's something that we offer. You can create your own labels. It's up to you. The other thing that is also cool is you can return each lead back to the campaign. So this guy answered to me. What I can do is just, if I click on this button, I would return him to the campaign. I can even choose on which campaign I would do it. So that's something that we also offer.
Yeah, many times the answer is just like this, interesting. So you can just bring them back to the campaign with the first or second message.
Yeah. I mean, on my profile, I don't sell that much. It's more about connecting. But yeah, that's something that essentially is happening. Like if you need to return for some reason the person, like if they answer something generic, it's a good thing to do. Other thing is you can filter out labels, like you can filter out the conversations by labels. You can filter out by channels, like if you want to unread messages, all channels of campaigns if you wish. So yeah, and also something that I really love, because when I worked in Skylead in the beginning, we didn't have this feature, is save the replies. So essentially, when you have some kind of, when you're repeating the same answer,
frequently ask
questions,
answers actually frequently
answers, yes. we offer that inside of Skylead with variables, so it changes for each person. So you don't have to like copy and change the name of the person and etc. So it's, as I said, we try to give you a lot of freedom, and at the same time we try to give to take off the workload of you. So like those saved replies, just to not use like Google Docs or whatever you're copying those answers from. You can just import them inside of Skylead and use them.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice. Usually, you actually touched on this topic, but I wanted just to reassure. You've mentioned that you have a lot of partnership opportunities. So if you can tell us a bit, some short insights on that part as well.
Yes, so we as I said, we offer Skylead as for regular users, which is just $100 per seat. Of course, there's discounts if you buy multiple, but that's one type of business model that we have, and the other is the white label option, which is something that we offer to anyone who like has 10 or more accounts on Skylead free of charge. So we take Skylead and we just rebrand it as your own tool, and like you can where the user cannot see anywhere Skylead. We don't mention Skylead, so it looks like you developed it on your own. And so yeah, if people like are interested in that part, we have like a link on the website on our white label page where they can book a call with our salespeople, talk about that. But yeah, we offer the white label partnership. So yeah, that's how generally it functions. We also have affiliate. If somebody wants to like resell Skylead, they can do also that. So that's 3 types of ways that I would say 2 types for agencies or resellers. But yeah, that's our business model essentially. That's how we work, like from regular Skylead users, white labels, and affiliates.
Now I know why you're growing that fast, because you actually use any business model available as long as it's adding more subscribers to the platform.
Yes. Like in the beginning we didn't have the white label options, but when agency came, we just saw the opportunity. Like they were asking us to develop and resell the solution, and we were like, why don't we offer the white label for them? And like essentially Skylead was built on white label mostly, but in the beginning, now it's like 50-50, I would say, like 50 white labels, 50 Skylead users. So yeah, that's
going into the future. And actually it's connected with my last question, Relja, is that where is the Skylead headed? I mean, you have 2 channels. Are you going to go into more channels, or are you actually going to go more deeper into the LinkedIn and email? And 2023 is ahead of us. So we're just curious, what are the upcoming plans of Skylead?
Yeah, so we generally like in this year we focused a lot on results, like especially on LinkedIn, like to provide even more connections to send. Like we offer to users like to send now 700 connections per week. That was something that we focused on to create, and we managed. And we were focusing mostly on results, also like paid emails and etc. And the next year, like again, we're focusing mostly on results again, because that's something that I think is mostly important to the user. Something that we are already focusing, that I can tell you guys, is like we're currently working on a lot on the email part. Just to perfect that part, to offer it essentially the same as any other email automation tool. Like we will offer like warm up of emails. That's something that is in the future. Nice. And we will offer 3 different plans probably. I'm not like in the future, so the users can just pick what they want to do. And yeah, but the idea is to add more additional channels. Something that we're currently looking. I mean, we didn't start developing or whatever, but it's cold calling and SMS. So that's something that a lot of users are asking, and we want to just see how to implement it. The hard part is that probably cannot be, for now, automated fully. It will be a manual task, but they would probably like to see it.
Yeah, as the SMS can be automated. The
SMS, yes, sorry, okay. SMS can, yeah, but cold calling, yes, that would be harder. So those are the channels that we're for sure going to move. Like we're going to try to move into 23. That's something in the future, but mostly currently we're focusing on email just to perfect it, and just cranking up the LinkedIn, just finishing, because on LinkedIn I think we almost did everything that we can. Now we're just doing, we're focusing on email. When we finish with that, we're going to focus on another channel. We want to perfect each channel and just move to the other. I mean, of course, if some changes come from LinkedIn, they offer something additionally. Of course, we're going to do it because, yeah, LinkedIn is a gold mine if you use it properly.
True, true. Relja, I would really like to thank you for coming to the show. I hope that for all the listeners out there, they can go to the Skylead.io. Do you have any free trial on the website that they can just give it a try?
Yes, we do offer a 7-day free trial, so they can
that's perfect, because after watching the videos, they can log into Skylead for free as a free trial, play a bit with the sequencing and how it works if then else. And of course, if they like it, then they can continue using it. It was really nice meeting you, Relja. Thank you again for coming on the show. And for everybody out there, we continue looking on finding the best tools for you guys and showing to you here, because yeah, this can save you a lot of effort, if you ask me. That's all I had for today. Do have a great day and talk to you soon.